You see, the Holy Land. This is the 33 bones that make the spinal cord, spinal column. Okay, and it's always divided into 5 parts. Now, in the Bible, in Genesis, let me see, Jacob, in Genesis 32. It says this: finally Jacob was left by himself. This shows how much of this science is in the scriptures. When people read about Jacob, they think, oh, that's Israel. Israel, because he got his name changed from Jacob to Israel. I'm going to show you how that happened. Right? He gets the sun, because Jacob, it's got to be the sun. It's talking about light. Remember, everything's talking about light. So you read the Bible, the character is light or magnetism. Just remember that, and you'll decode it. So, Jacob is down here, Israel is up here, Abram is here, Abraham is up here. The sun gets a name change at that equilibrium point. See, this is angular momentum here. This is the wave, remember, this is the wave amplitude. This is the wavelength. Remember, we had the sine wave going down here, right? So this is the amplitude, okay? So the sun is always going to change his aspects as he goes through those quadrants. In fact, the Egyptians said this is Horus, this is Ra, this is Set, and this is Osiris, which are just aspects of light. You see, these 4 quadrants, these 4 seasons, these 4 stations were given their quality of light. And this light is Horus, the newborn sun. That's Horus that Isis holds in her hands, because here the sun is born. And in fact, on the 25th of March, that's when Gabriel says to Mary, you're going to conceive. Remember Gabby? Yeah, the messenger of God. He says to Mary, he says, you're going to conceive. Sure does. On the 25th of December. From the 25th of March, 9 months later, 25th of December, the sun is born. That's what it's talking about. And that's why we celebrate Easter. Because also the Son is resurrected here. He dies on the cross and then he's resurrected. But going back to Jacob, finally Jacob was left by himself. Then a man began to grapple with him until the dawn ascended. Do you remember this story? Yeah. Okay. Good. When he got to see that he had not prevailed over him, then he touched the socket of his thigh joint, and the socket of Jacob's thigh joint got out of place during the grappling with him. After that he said, let me go, for the dawn has ascended. For the dawn has ascended. To this he said, I am not going to let you go until you bless me. So he said to him, what is your name? To which he said, Jacob. Then he said, your name will no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. Where the dawn ascends, your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel. Okay? For you have contended with God and with men, so that you have at last prevailed. Here the Son is contending with enemies. Is contending with God, with these angels. Remember the bad angels of Saturn. And then this is all about the Son contending. He's struggling to bring back the lighter. Remember the plus over here, the spring. He's struggling to pass over. He's struggling to grow his rays so that he can be longer days, shorter nights. Because here is longer nights, shorter days. So this is the struggle period where Jacob struggles with an angel and then he succeeds. Okay? Now it gets better. Hang on to your seats. This gets really, really good. Because you have prevailed. In turn, Jacob inquired and said, tell me, please, your name. However, he said, why is it that you inquire for my name? With that he blessed him there. Hence Jacob called the name of that place Pineal. Sound familiar? Pineal? Hang on. So he called the place, remember, and because to quote him, I have seen God's face, I have seen God face to face, and yet my soul was delivered. And then it goes on to talk about he sees a ladder, and angels going up and down the ladder, and he was sleeping on a stone. Remember that the stone of scone? Queen Elizabeth claims to be coronated on the stone of scone. That's Jacob's stone, where he had this dream. Right? Remember the Union Jack flag? And the blue and red that's on there? This is all Israelite and Freemasonry symbolism, okay? So this is the ladder, the stairway to heaven, the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. This is how you get up to heaven. Heaven's up here. The pineal gland is at the top, where Taurus is, where I showed you that Taurus has the Pleiades in it, and the Pleiades corresponds to the pineal gland. That's the pineal that he's talking about, where Orion is and Taurus, up here, the two hemispheres of the left and right brain. And he said that he saw God face to face. This is where you see. This is the third eye. This just sees a very thin slither of reality. Very, very thin. This one sees the lot. You see God face to face. And where was the stone that he laid his head on? Would that be the sacrum? What does sacrum mean? Does that mean sacred? Oh yes, it does. See this? The sacrum is five of these spinal bones fused together. It's a stone. It's the stone of scone. This is where Jacob lays his head, and then he sees the angels climbing up the ladder, and he sees God face to face and calls it the place where he saw God, Pineal. This is the brain, and these are the 12 nerves of the brain, the 12 cranial nerves, and there are their names. Okay? Optic, olfactory, facial, etc. These are the 12 disciples that Jesus sends down into the circuit of Galilee to preach to the Gentiles. Remember the Gentiles that you're supposed to kill, those Perizzites and Jebusites? That's your lower nature. Light has a lower nature. That's what we call evil. And that's down there. This is hell. The heart is the middle earth. And then this is the heaven. You see? You go up into the heaven. The right brain, remember that one? The intuitive? Well, there's the two hemispheres of the brain. See that? That's the corpus callosum. That's the Red Sea. To get from the children of Israel to get to the Holy Land must cross the corpus callosum. You must cross from the left brain into the right brain to get back to the Garden of Eden or the Holy Land. And guess where it is? Here. There it is, in the head. The head is here. So when the sun finally comes into exaltation, it's in Aries and Taurus in the head. And what has happened is we have a chance of passing into the Holy Land. It's in the head.